Anthony from HashersNet here, and I drove to Canada on August 3rd, 2023 with my mother. 15 years ago, I had traveled to Mexico via Texas with my aunt, and it was about time that I had completed the North American Continental Trifecta. After days of planning and putting together the most epic 1980s music playlist, which you can listen to via the link in the description, we were off. Our first stop at around 11 a.m. after the obligatory visit to the bank because I did not want them to decline my credit card while I was in Canada was grabbing breakfast. It was a simple burrito and taco from Taco Bell. Once on the highway, it was a straight 90-minute shot to Toledo, home of Scott The Woz. If you pay any attention to games on YouTube, you might know who he is. My goal in Toledo was twofold. First, meet Scott The Woz. Second, try Jersey Mike's. A friend from college had recommended the sandwich shop, and I like trying new things. I ordered the original Italian, and it was one of the best sandwiches that I had ever eaten. Thanks goes out to Joe for the recommendation. After about a half hour, I had come to the conclusion that Scott was not going to just randomly show up at this northern Toledo sandwich shop. I probably should have contacted him to arrange something more formal, but he was busy editing a video about his childhood video game collection. It was a long video, so no wonder he did not have the time to just randomly show up at a sandwich shop because I was hoping that he would do so. Back on the road, the GPS said that it would be another 90 minutes until we reached the Toys R Us in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. It had specified an approximate 10-minute wait time at the border. Oh, how wrong it was. After about 30 minutes of waiting in the slowest moving line, we finally made it to the customs area. A note about that. When I went to and was leaving Mexico, the border crossing officers basically opened the vehicle, checked the luggage, and ran a mirror under the vehicle in addition to checking identification. For Canada, they asked if I had anything to declare, checked my identification, and nothing. The officers never left their booths. Now in Windsor, Toys R Us was mere minutes away. Pulling up, I was instantly returned to what seemed like decades ago, a colorful Toys R Us sign with that classic blue background. Upon entering the store, I had noticed one thing right away that seemed to be a near constant with every store that I went to in Canada. The entrances and exits were on the opposite sides. Like in the United States, you generally enter places via the right side. In Canada, apparently it is the left. I mean, it was not true for every store, but it was jarring nonetheless. Once I had figured out the whole entering the store thing, the interior was laid out like the Toys R Us that used to be near me in Ohio. My local Toys R Us closed in early 2018, and it's now a U-Haul storage place thing. Although, as of last year, some U.S.-based Macy's department stores have rebranded their toy sections as Toys R Us. You can check out the video about my trip to Cincinnati, Ohio for more about that. The link is in the description. I scooped up the Lego Transformers and Ninja Turtles, ending up with a classic 80s Raphael plush. While I was there, I had noticed a few Transformers items not yet available near my home and called Moose to see if he needed anything. With my plush in hand, it was time for Starbucks, conveniently located across the parking lot. Caffeinated, GameStop was the next target. After realizing it was located inside of the Devonshire Mall, I went in and quickly found it. GameStop had a Transformer that was recently released and hard to find in the United States. Moose did not need it, and I did not want it. I had learned from a GameStop associate that Dollarama was a thing in the mall, and that they sell souvenirs. I got a magnet and a tiny wolf plushie. After leaving the mall, I had noticed a toy store across the street, Mastermind Toys. I remember seeing something about them online, but I was not sure what type of toy store they were. Upon entering, it was clear that they catered to kids and families. So there was nothing there for me. Anyway, I was starting to get a little peckish, so it was time for dinner. After eliminating a number of places for dinner during my research for this trip, it was decided that it would end with Southern-style barbecue. The whimsy of a Canadian restaurant offering Southern-style barbecue was not lost on me. I just wanted to try traditional poutine made by real Canadians. I have to say, everything was delicious. My mother had the half rack of ribs with macaroni and cheese, while I had the poutine and some nachos. The restaurant was barely busy, and it was 6 p.m. With food this good, this place really should have been packed. If you are in Western Windsor, definitely check out Smoke and Spice Southern Barbecue. And that was it. The trip home was the reverse of the trip to Canada. We even stopped in the same plaza as Jersey Mike's in Toledo for gas. Scott was still not there, and no one had seen him. Then again, it was nearing 8 p.m., and I did not care anymore. Once I had returned home, I remember laying in bed, and then nothing until 3 a.m. because I am old and needed to get up in the middle of the night to pee. With that said, thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments if you have visited any of these places and what was your experience. Do not forget to like and subscribe.